Today I'm going to be boosting one of my subscribers' PC build, so I'm going to be taking his PC build, making it better for the same price, and then explaining why I did everything. So if you want your specific PC build to get featured in the next one, then the instructions will be down below in the video description, as well for the link to the system that I recommend buying. So with this video you will make sure that you are not bottlenecking your system. With that being said, let's start. So we have Luminous, who says, "Hello, I would like your opinion and possible optimization advice on this gaming PC I've put together. This is my first time building a PC, so my knowledge is limited and I'm not really sure if this is a good build. I will mainly use this build for playing games like Forza Horizon 5, Fortnite, SnowRunner and more. Basically just mostly shooter games and simulator games at 1080p. I don't know if I will be streaming on this PC, but I want to know if that's possible or what would need to change to make it possible. Aesthetic wise doesn't matter, I just want an all black build, but things like RGB are not really important. Price should range from $1,000 to $1,500. I recently discovered your channel and I like your content and I want to say keep up your work. Thank you so much. Also, it would be cool if you could feature me in a boost your build video. If no, that's okay too. Hope you're doing well and wish you the best. Wish you the best too, man, and you are getting featured on this video." By the way, this video idea is from Jason from the PC Builder YouTube channel, so big shout out to him. Now let's start. So this is the gaming PC from my subscriber and I honestly don't love it. Now for the games that you want to play, you are going to be able to run everything on ultra settings, and also if you want to play Fortnite, you will be able to run it at 240 plus FPS on average in competitive settings. So yes, if you put this PC together, it's going to work just fine and everything is going to be smooth. However, I do not love some of your PC part selections because I think that we can do so much better at this price point than we did here, and it's completely fine. You told me you are not very good at gaming PCs, that's fine, no worries, that's what I'm here for. So for the CPU you went with the AMD Ryzen 5 7600X, which is a 6-core processor and in my opinion is amazing for gaming, so I don't see anything wrong here. I just wouldn't buy this CPU at this price point, especially for your needs. Now if you would want to play at 1440p or 4K, then this choice would have been fine, but if you want to play at 1080p CPU intensive games, then I would rather have a faster CPU, especially if you want to achieve 360 plus FPS on average in competitive games. But anyway, you didn't tell me anything about your FPS target, so we don't know. Then for the CPU cooler you went with the Be Quiet Dark Rock Pro 4. I had the CPU cooler myself for my build, but I wouldn't buy it for the Ryzen 5 7600X. The 7600X is actually very power efficient, and here you are spending $130 to cool down a CPU that only needs a $30 to $40 cooler. No need to spend anything more, and honestly in my opinion this is totally overkill. Then for the motherboard you went with the B650A gaming Wi-Fi from Asus. Again, amazing motherboard. I just believe that it's an overkill and we could spend a little bit less on a good motherboard that has enough features for gaming, which is all that you're going to need, and then spend the extra on the maximum amount of performance that you can get. So I love this motherboard, but at this price point I would rather have a motherboard that's a bit cheaper, still pretty good, and then spend the extra in performance. Then the memory kit, and this is where I would recommend you not buying this kit. DDR5 6000 MHz, great, but it's CL36 timings, which is not fast. This one is going for $115, and for less we can get a kit that has CL30 timings, which is better and it's going to be faster, especially in a game like Fortnite. The other games that you mentioned are going to be run just fine in this computer anyway. Then for the storage you went with the Samsung 980 Pro 1TB of Gen 4 SSD for $90. This is a very fast drive but a very expensive one, and for $90 I just don't see the level of performance, and anyway there's no difference between Gen 3 and Gen 4 when it comes to gaming performance. So whether you get this one or the cheapest Gen 3 SSD is not going to make a difference when it comes to FPS. Now of course, if you see a Gen 4 drive at a very similar price to a Gen 3 one, by all means go with that one, but this one is $90. I think is a very expensive price, and for $20 more you can get 2 TB instead of 1 TB, which in my opinion would be a better decision. Then for the graphics card you went with the RTX 3070 for $425. Now I do like the fact that you went with with Nvidia because one of the games that you mentioned is Fortnite and it works better with Nvidia. However, the 3070 is one generation older and it has 8 gigs of VRAM, which is going to be completely fine at 1080p, but if you decide to upgrade to 1440p down the line and you want to play more high demanding titles, this is going to become a problem. So even though I like the 3070 and it's going to be just fine for your build, I think you're spending a little bit too much for an 8 gigs of VRAM graphics card. Then for the case you went with the Be Quiet Pure Base 500DX. My issue with this case is that it's $95 and it comes with 2 pre-installed fans. I think it's an amazing case. If you like the aesthetics, then just go for it, but you will be buying extra fans and spending more money that you can spend in extra performance. So in my opinion, I would get at least 3 pre-installed fans in a case. And then last but not least, you went with the Corsair RM750 2022 edition. This is a 750 watt 80 plus volt power supply that's going to be amazing for this build, but $160 is very expensive and I would never recommend you buying a power supply like this one at this price point. Literally for this price you can get power supplies that are 1200 watts and above, so I would not recommend getting this one, even though it's a very good A tier rated unit. I think we can save a ton of money here and get you a much faster system for the same price. So this is the PC that I chose. I went with the AMD Ryzen 7 7800X3D, which is arguably the fastest CPU in the entire market. It also has 2 extra cores and you're going to be playing CPU intensive games. You said you wanted to play simulators as well, so the Ryzen 7 7800X3D is going to be amazing for gaming and also for streaming, which is something you were curious about. Also, on top of that, this CPU can handle up to the RTX 4090, which is the fastest GPU in the market. So if down the line you decide to upgrade to 1440p or 4K and you want a faster GPU, you can upgrade it because this CPU will be able to handle it. And it's also very power efficient, so I went with a $33 cooler in the Thermalright Peerless Assassin. This one looks amazing, it's going to get the job done. Trust me, you do not need to spend $130 on a CPU cooler here. This is going to be more than enough. Then for the motherboard, as I said before, I went with a motherboard that's a bit cheaper, has all the features that you need. It has plenty of M.2 slots, as you can see here. You have 3, so you can upgrade your storage down the line. It comes with Wi-Fi included. It has everything that you need, trust me, enough connectivity ports. So honestly, great motherboard for the price and I wouldn't spend more. But if you want to go with your motherboard for around $60 more, that's not going to be an issue as long as you are willing to spend it. Then for the memory kit, I went with an all black kit because you said you wanted an all black build. That's why I also did not understand why you chose RGB for your memory kit. But anyway, this is CL30 timings, as you can see here, which is faster at a cheaper price. So honestly, great kit and it's going to be faster, especially in a game like Fortnite. Then for the storage, I went with a 1TB Gen 4 SSD for $65. And as I said before, if Gen 3 is really close in price, then by all means go with Gen 4. And the cheapest Gen 3 drive was going for $59, so $5 or $6 more and you're getting Gen 4. But remember, this is not going to make a difference for gaming, it's just going to make a difference if you are doing something like content creation and you need to transfer heavy files. Then for the graphics card, I went with the RTX 4070 for $540. This one is going to be enough not only for 1080p Ultra and you can run any game that you want at 1080p, but you can basically run any game at 1440p. So if you want to upgrade to 1440p down the line, this GPU is going to be able to handle it. It comes with 12 gigs of VRAM, which is more than those 8 gigs of VRAM from the RTX 3070. And if you want a cheaper version because you are going to stay at 1080p, then I will recommend you a graphics card in a second. But anyway, let's see the performance difference. Here we have the RTX 4070 on a test from TechSpot. This is a 12 frame average at 1080p on high to ultra settings in very high demanding titles. If you scroll up, you will see high demanding titles being tested, Alan Wake 2 as you can see here. So games like Fortnite and easier to run games you will be able to run even at higher FPS. But the 4070 was able to average 124 FPS at 1080p ultra, which is a very smooth number, and the 3070 97. So that's about a 27 FPS difference on average, without considering that you get more VRAM, which might be helpful down the line at 1080p. And then at 1440p, the 4070 was able to average 88 FPS as you can see here, and then the 3070 70 FPS. So the 4070 is faster, and trust me, it's going to be a much better option if you want a GPU that will last longer. Then for the case, I went with the Fractal Design Meshify 2. This one is $98, all black, and it comes with 3 pre-installed fans. Here you get 2 140mm fans, and then you get a 120mm as the exhaust fan in the back. So honestly, great case. I love the aesthetic. Let me move myself. It's black, so that's what you wanted, and I got you full black amazing, beautiful build for around the same price. And last but not least, I went with a 750 watt 80 plus gold 80 rated power supply, and it's the same Corsair RM 750E, but this one is the 2023 version and it's going for $100, so $60 cheaper than the one that you were going with, which I don't understand why you went with that one. Maybe the price was different when you picked it, that can be a possibility, but anyway, this PC is going for $1,473 and the one that you were going with basically the same price. Literally, the one that you were going with is 3 cents more expensive, so save those 3 cents, get you nothing basically. But anyway, this PC is going to be much faster, about 30% faster than the one that you were going with for the same price. It's also going to be a much better option at 1440p if you decide to upgrade down the line, and if not, it's going to be a much better option if you want a gaming PC that will last longer at 1080p. And then if you're going to stay at 1080p and you want to save some money because your price range was from $1,000 to $1,500, then I would recommend you getting a different graphics card, and from Nvidia too, because you're going to play Fortnite. So the 4060 Ti is going to be a good option for you, the 16GB version. So here we will search for 6GB here, the MSI Ventus model. This one is going for $420 and you are going to be saving around $100. So for $1,353 you are going to be getting amazing 1080p performance. It's also going to last long at 1080p because it comes with 16 gigs of VRAM. You can also use it for 1440p high settings as well if you want to. And in terms of performance, it's basically the same as the 3070 that you were going with, but you get more VRAM, a newer architecture, and you get AV1 encoding, which is going to be amazing for streaming because the quality in your streams is going to be better. Remember that in the description you will have the links to the PC that I boosted and also the instructions if you want to get featured in the next Boost My Build video. And on top of that, you will have a link to my PC community where you can join. I will be making monthly giveaways and also a lot of interesting stuff, so I recommend you checking that out. Thank you guys for watching, thank you for the support, and I will see you on the next one.